Chapter 1, Birthday Cake or a Big Mistake. Susie Thatcher prepared for her son's 12th birthday in the manner a scientist prepares a clean room. A white mask covered her nose and mouth, obscuring her pale oval face. She doused the house with an aerosol to kill 99% of germs and disinfecting wipes to squash the rest. Her brown ponytail swished in time with her foggy strokes throughout the kitchen, living room, 1.5 bathrooms, her bedroom, and even the linen closet, before she took one more sweep over every already shiny surface, concluding at Nathaniel's bedroom door. Inside the room, Nathaniel paced anxiously. He pulled his fingers across the books, which covered 2 entire walls. Handmade labels of history, science, and mathematics clicked along with him in the school stuff section. Fantasy, action, and sci-fi took their turns in the cool stuff section. Finally, he reached the end in Places I Will Go and Sports to Try. A Connect sports game was paused on a wall-mounted TV until Nathaniel pushed the glowing Xbox button with his big toe, sending the screen to black. He froze there, about to cough, but then forcefully gulped down his held breath. "Not today," he ordered himself. Nathaniel collapsed over his balled-up comforter and stared upside down at the blanketed wall above him. Staring back was a map of the world, the snow-kissed Rocky Mountains, and mysterious mists swimming at the base of a giant pagoda. Favorite movie posters, such as Pirates of the Caribbean and The Goonies, were collaged around 2 doors. One leading to a small bathroom, and the other out toward his ever-elusive freedom. Groaning like a caged tiger, Nathaniel looked to Jupiter on his ceiling and pretended he was on the planet with its immense gravity pulling him heavily out of bed. "Mom! Come on! Can I come out yet?" Nathaniel called impatiently. Susie bounced nervously at the door while dousing her arms with sanitizer. She put her hand on the goth-painted sign that said, "Cube of Solitude," then moved her finger to the release button on the door side panel. The glowing readings of humidity, air quality, and temperature went dark, and steam exuded from the hinges. With successive pops, the door gave way, and Susie pulled. "Happy birthday, darling," she said, forcing excitement beyond her anxiety. Nathaniel hesitated, unbelieving, until he let the sight wash over him like the uncontainable smile crossing his cheeks. He ran and tackled Susie with a hug, then looked up to her face mask. "You don't have to wear that, do you?" "It's better if I do," she said, rubbing his shaggy blonde head. "You're not sick, and I haven't coughed yet today. Let's give it a shot." Susie held her breath. "Okay," she said, and skeptically pulled off the mask. The magnitude of that simple gesture sparkled between their eyes. "Come on," Susie said, and pulled Nathaniel ecstatically from the room. 2 large polka-dotted candles, in the shape of a 1 and a 2, burned atop a double-decker cheesecake on the kitchen table. Nathaniel positioned himself in front of the cake and rubbed his hands together with anticipation. "Hold your breath, make a wish, blow out all the candles in one huff, and your wish could come true," Susie said, excited. Nathaniel laughed. "Ma, there's only 2 candles. I think I can handle it." I know. I did that on purpose this year, just to be sure you could." "You're so funny," Nathaniel said, shaking his head. He closed his eyes and took a deep breath, his cheeks puffed out with concentration. Susie watched him with a smile. He concentrated so intently on his wish, and she knew the words he was reciting in his mind. It was a wish for everything she had tried to, but been unable to make come true. Her smile faded at the feeling of failure. Nathaniel quickly opened his eyes and blew on the flames with all of his might until the fire was snuffed out and the candles were smoking. With a toothy grin, he looked up to his mom, who quickly put her smile back into place and wiped away a beginning tear. She clapped enthusiastically. "Yay! Happy birthday, old man!" She laughed. "Let's cut the cake." She picked up a knife and handed it to Nathaniel. "You should have the honors." Nathaniel gawked. "Really?" He took the knife. She had never let him cut the cake before. He felt the weight of the knife in his hand and licked his lips as he readied the blade upon the cake. But suddenly, his face contorted, and he buried it into his elbow with a cough, cough, cough. Like lightning, Susie grabbed the knife out of Nathaniel's hand. He dropped his arm heavily and stared at the ground. "We should get you back into your room," Susie stated. "No, Mom," he protested. I'll bring you a slice in there. Mom, please. I really shouldn't have taken off the mask. Don't say that. She took the cake to the counter. You better go before it gets worse. She pulled a clean mask from a box by the cutting board and put it on. Mom, please listen to me. I'm doing much better. I only coughed 13 times yesterday. Can you believe it? But his attempt to reinstate hope only met a shaking head. Susie pulled the sanitizer from her jeans pocket and rubbed it over her arms again. You know that's because my room is sterile, I know. And the second you leave your room, I know, Mom, but please, you'll pick up whatever microbe baddie might be floating around from a cold 10 years old. Seriously, Mom, let's just go on a day trip to the park, to a store, to the mailbox. Nathaniel, Susie said, turning to him seriously. Do you want to become the bubble boy? I am the bubble boy, he screamed, and a severe cough abruptly ended the argument. Nathaniel could not catch his breath. Susie dropped the sanitizer, rushed over, and helped her son to his feet. With each step, the intensity of the cough grew stronger, until it was difficult for Susie to keep a hold of him. Careening through his bedroom door, Nathaniel crumpled to the floor as Susie exited, slammed on the door, and hit purge on the exterior panel. Steam exuded from the door cracks. The bedroom's bordering vents made a loud sucking noise, and then kicked out a tumbling haze that fell as a smoke waterfall to the floor. Nathaniel ran to the bathroom in a coughing fit and hovered over the sink. Susie put her hand on the wall at the end of the hallway. She listened to her son coughing and seeing herself beside him in her mind's eye. It'll pass, baby. Just breathe. Nathaniel took hold of his breath and mentally ordered it all to stop. His face went red, his lungs were ready to burst, and his head was swimming. He heard his mom pounding on the wall, ordering him to breathe. But with each breath would come a cough, and he just wanted it to stop. The trapped air burst free, and Nathaniel took a breath. In a moment of peace, he caught his reflection and shook his head. It comes on so fast, he whispered. Dark circles glared under his brown eyes, and sweat dampened the curls around his pale forehead. The panel by Nathaniel's door started flashing. A warning read, "Humidity low." Susie growled at the display and yelled, "Nathaniel, I need to run out for some liquid treatment for the humidifier. Just lie down, honey." "Okay, Mom," he yelled back between coughs. A fever made the voyage from head to foot, and Nathaniel plunged into the faucet's cool waterfall. He pulled the hand towel off its hook, determined to smother the oncoming cough. Stumbling to the full body mirror, Nathaniel drooped and leaned into his reflection, pressing his forehead onto the smooth glass. He stared down at his doppelganger toes, wiggled them, and blinked to pull them into focus. But his limbs were jello, and the world was wobbly. Nathaniel knew he only had one sweet, clear breath remaining before the cascade of coughs would win. He braced for impact, crumbled down onto the floor, and blacked out.